if that's gonna
I
like
saw that.
stop.
I don't know what it means. I allowed it, so
Well,
hopefully it.
well, what it means is that it will download a local recording. So if we like skip during the our broadcast or whatever, Jason can have a fresh, nicely seen like one that he can just slot in instead of using our raw feed. But that would also require Jason to do more work. So, which is always funny to me because I'm like, yeah, I'm totally not going to help you do any editing. That's not what I do. Did I go to art
I'm
school?
like
Yes.
doing 80%
Did I learn how
off
to
right
edit?
now,
Of
but
course I did. But
yeah.
I'm not going to touch that with a
What
10
was
foot
it I
pole.
wanted to talk? There's something I want to talk to you about. I need to start writing this stuff down because I was like, oh, this would be
Yeah,
good
you
to talk
start writing
about
things down, like having like a script or something.
at
I
the
don't know, instead of just
beginning.
doing this off the top of our heads like a bunch of crazy people. I got a question for you.
What? Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think because because of J.K. Rowling's more recent, uh, let's say, verbalness about of issues has led people to reevaluate Harry Potter more so than they would have if she just kept her mouth shut? Like
Can you give me?
nowadays, a lot of
Did she
people.
say something? Refer? Did she say
No, no,
something
no. I'm just
recently?
saying, like in just in general,
Oh, okay.
like like
No, because Harry Potter has always been on. It's always had a microscope, always since the beginning. Because the Christians ate that shit
yes.
up,
What a
and
popular book starring witches and
yeah,
wizards! Burn
yeah.
it.
I mean, it got so bad. I remember my grandmother bought the book and read the series because she had to see what was making them like what was making all
Yeah.
this news because she's the type of person who has to make up her mind for herself, right? People aren't going to
What a
tell her how
nice
to
young
think,
lady.
right? So she read them all and she was just like, Nora Roberts writes more pagan shit than that, like like.
I
So, but
got
I just think as long as it's going to make billions of dollars and it's not the Holy Bible, the
the
there it's
controversy
always
is going
going
to
to,
come.
yeah,
Yeah.
always, always. And that's how you know it's going to be good.
I once got into an argument with my mother on whether or not Harry Potter was a Christian, and she was like, he's a wizard, so that's a no." And I'm like, "But he celebrates Christmas.
Yeah.
He doesn't celebrate Yule. He celebrates
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah.
he's. I'm sure he goes to church and it's not like it was his fault or he chose to be magic. It's his
Yeah.
parents were were
He was
magic,
born
so
that way.
yeah, he was born that way. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he goes to. Besides, there's no because it was J.K. Rowling. If there's any Jewish characters, he'd be like, you know, uh, Arnold, Goldstein Juberg or whatever will be her naming convention for that character.
Yeah. I
So,
think 100% Harry Potter it was raised Christian. I just like Aunt Petunia and Uncle I almost said
burning.
Fester because I'm in such an
Yeah.
I'm in such a like Wednesday mode. Yeah, Uncle Vern. They totally have that
Oh, they
whole
probably
deal.
took him to church like, and if this was in America, they
Yes.
probably took him to church like at least 2 times a week, if not like almost
Yeah.
every day, because they know
Yeah.
his mom was a witch or whatever. So he's like on Wednesday, he's on Sunday, he does Sunday school Sunday morning,
Yeah.
he goes to vacation Bible school, you know,
Yeah.
every Saturday he's at the church. They're like,
And
oh
I
no,
could
he's
see
not
the
going to be like his mom.
Weasleys. I could see the Weasleys going just because um oh my god, see this is why I suck. The Daddy Weasley.
Arthur Weasley,
Arthur
Daddy,
Weasley.
Daddy Weasley. That's what
He
Molly calls him.
right. He was so obsessed with like all things Muggle. And
Yeah,
and I could totally see him at least making his family go like once a year on Easter or because it could kind
we
of
are going to
pass
go
through
see this
some of their
guy, Justice Christ.
yeah. Like I could totally see him just doing it for like fun reasons. And then I don't Hermione's parents are dentists. There's no way they ever went to church a day in their lives.
No, they're Unitarians. They just went to a Unitarian church. That's what.
Yeah. They yeah. I don't Yeah, and then I mean, we could probably just make that a whole show. You know how we talked about doing like who would they have voted for?
Yeah,
With
who was
I can't
brave?
remember what
It was
characters was it.
MCU characters who they would have voted for.
No, we were
Marvel.
saying that we've already seen them do that because and
Oh,
we were talking about something else and we're like, oh yeah, kind of how we've seen them do the MCU.
was it
I
the
can't
Bat
remember.
Family? It was probably the Bat Family.
Oh,
It's
yep,
one
it
of-
was DC. That's what it
yeah,
was because we were saying that we had seen. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and we were like, yeah,
because we could do
we
that
could
right
probably
now.
we really could.
Dick Grayson, 100%. Bruce Wayne, definitely a Republican, hardcore Republican. Doesn't understand how no one cannot be a Republican. Does not get it
Yeah,
whatsoever.
yes, he was so out of touch. I mean, I suppose depending on which Batman you're talking about, but he let no man's land happen.
Yeah, does not
And
care
he
whatsoever.
doesn't care.
He fights crime with his literal fists.
Yeah.
That's Bruce Wayne, 100% Republican, conservative Republican. Dick Grayson pretends he's a centrist, but he's a liberal-leaning centrist. He rides the fence. And he goes, well, both sides have good ideas. I don't know, but he's really more on the liberal side because he'll get, he'll show up at a gay wedding and give a gift and be like, oh, I love these guys, but then secretly vote for a person who's trying to ban that. Jason Todd, like card carrying communist, like red card carrying communist. Like he grew up poor. He thinks all like the workers should have the means of production.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about Jason Todd. Okay, here's the thing. He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
Like, and every because Under the Red Hood is probably my favorite DC animated movie, and like James bought me the graphic novel and all that. So that is like I mean, crime was down. It was definitely organized. Like
even if we're just talking about just the Joker. Like I'm a firm believer of like due process. Like a person needs to be arrested. You can't just take the law in your own hands because that's what happens to black people. They get up on a tree somewhere. But if we're just talking about just the Joker, like no one would be like, you were wrong for killing that guy.
Yeah. Yes.
No
one's sending Batman to court. He's not not like how Superman had to go to stupid court.
Yeah, no one's gonna be like, oh my god, I can't believe you killed the Joker. Now we must arrest you, Batman, for murdering the Joker. They'd be like, I didn't see it. I don't know who killed him.
Right. Yeah. I'm like, who? What? I didn't see
what happened
he,
to the Joker?
He was like this when we got here.
Someone put 19 bullets in the Joker's face? Oh, that's crazy.
You can do it on national television. And they would just be like, So, okay. Remind me to tell you something about the species. No, when Jason comes on, because all of y'all need to hear it. But
okay,
this about the species on Wednesday. That was the one. That's what I wanted to talk about before the show started.
Species on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to talk about it before the show officially started because I think we're technically at an E rating, and it is definitely not an E-rated subject.
We don't do E ratings here. This is not for
what it says
everybody.
on Spotify. It says,
oh, really? Because they're not listening to our show.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. We'll see. But okay, so anyway, Jason Todd, 100% communist.
Like,
I mean, I could just see him voting for Bernie, though.
Yeah. I mean, Bernie's a Democratic socialist. He's probably the most. I think actually Jason Todd's like voting Green Party. He's like, you know what? They don't go far enough. Like these policies, Bernie's great, but he doesn't go far enough. I need somebody who's going to get it in now. Speak of the devil.
Oh.
But what's his face? Tim Drake, leftist, not a communist, just a leftist, very liberal. What do you mean? He's got a boyfriend. He's not no Lincoln, no Lincoln Republican, log cabin Republican. That's what it's called, log cabin Republican. He's got a boyfriend. He's bisexual. Tim Drake. You missed the other three.
You sure did.
Tim Drake, leftist.
Yeah.
Now, Damian Wayans does not care about political parties whatsoever.
No, I think he would be a flopper, and I think he's literally just such like a dick, which I love him.
He would be for an
He
authoritarian regime, no,
Yep.
regardless of what
Yep.
left or right. He would be
Yep.
for, I know right, and you should follow what I say.
Yep. And then it doesn't matter who's in charge because he's still going to do whatever the fuck he wants anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, but I do think he's also very loyal, and so I think if he got like say Raven, right? Raven, I think would 100% be left, right? I think
Yes.
she 100%.
I mean, she dresses on black. She has blue hair. She's literally the conservatives' worst nightmare.
But she could always come with the arguments. Like, she's intelligent enough to know exactly why she is that way. And so she would just, I feel like she would be so passionate about it. And if her and, oh my God, Damon were BFFs, and he would listen to her talk about it all the time, and he'd be like, okay, I'm rolling with her. So whatever she says.
But he would probably sprout some like obscure, like ancient, like Nietzsche philosophy from some book that he read, but he would still be like, that's just what he wrote. I'll rock with you anyway.
He would still walk right in and just be like, tell me who to vote for. And I'll do it.
They're all a bunch of corrupt. I will kill them all eventually.
Okay, so before the show officially starts, one of the species in Wednesday, I think they were called hummers.
Yeah.
Woo. So we missed.
Did not pick that up.
So somehow we missed the like explanation where I think it was Enid.
Yeah.
And it went through and like told all the species and who they are and everything. So somehow we missed who the hummers were. And
they were in the bathroom the whole entire time.
Yeah, like I mean, me and my whole family, we missed that explanation. And so we had missed what his species was also. So then they like he mentions it in the episode, and he says, oh, he says, oh, well, hummers, blah, 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 blah. And my son says, oh, well, what's a hummer? And I was like,
oh no.
I don't know, but don't Google it, is what I said. And we were like, don't Google it. We were looking at your Google history.
I remember when Demolition Man came out. I was in, I want to say 3rd or 4th grade, and we were watching it on home video, right? And there's the line where Sandra Bullock's character goes, let's blow this guy. And my mom and my sister and her sister friends were all laughing, and I did not get the joke. And I was like, why is that funny? I blow this guy. And I just kept saying it over and over again. And my mom's like, shut up.
Yeah. But you didn't miss anything. They never explained what a hummer was. It was furs, fangs, stoners, and it was another S. So they never,
Sirens.
That was just, yes, there it is. Yeah.
Either way, all the black people were bad guys. Let's just go.
No, shut the fuck up. No, they were not. They were not. When we get to that, we can talk about it.
They weren't bad guys, but they were villainous to begin with. How about that? Yes.
Absolutely not. You're just assuming because they're popular that makes them a villain.
Nope.
She was not a villain.
Simon, or what's her name? Bianca was definitely villainized. That doesn't mean she's a villain. She was villainized to begin with. She was her rival to begin with. All right.
Rivals
mean to her. Now she has an arc. Don't get me wrong. She has an arc.
But I think rivals are different than villains. It's not like she was coming after trying to ruin Wednesday's lives. She just was the HBIC, and Wednesday has no social skills.
So she was villainized. That doesn't mean she's a villain. These are two different things that I'm talking about. Villainized versus villain. She starts off to be a mean head bitch in charge who does not like Wednesday because she's the new girl. And also with your boy.
Well, she doesn't like Wednesday because what's his name got hard eyes for Wednesday. And they're broken up.
And that leads her to be a villain to Wednesday. They may make up in the end of it, but she is also very, very much the antagonist to her story at that point.
You mean like the first episode after the first meeting?
Like first 5 episodes up until she actually becomes friends with her in the dance episode when they actually talk about it.
I just don't think they have to be friends in order for her to be.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying, but you've never been a teenage girl. And so
hey guys, we do this show where we review and discuss these topics when those happen in the topic.
No, Jason, we're doing this now.
We remember
I run the show now. This is what we're doing. I will be a tyrant.
Do you want to start at 14 and then we could,
or 15 or 16 because you're only here for a minute?
Oh, I don't know. What time does your timer say? As
my
time
goes
says forward?
15, 33, 34, 35, 36.
Oh my
keeps
God!
Okay.
You want me to tell you when it's at 16 or what?
Yeah, then just
okay.
Just go at 16.
We've got a few seconds. Yeah, we're
go
gonna
at 16. There you go.
15 seconds. There we go. It's gonna be at 16. Let's go.
And
not yet.
Here we go. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, welcome to the Headcanon Circus podcast. I am the host for right now, Jason. Thank you for joining us. It's going to be a wonderful day, wonderful show for you. We have a few great reviews for you. If you're joining us for the first time, please do the things that we beg you to do, which is like, share, subscribe, react, comment, feed the algorithm, because if you feed it, it poops out money to us. And we need it.
I was doing sign language interpretations for everybody.
Yeah, he's doing sign language. Just very bad sign language for everybody. There's people who are hearing impaired going like, why does he not like my mother? Of course, I'm joined always with my illustrious co-host. He is the Eddie Murphy to my Arsenio Hall, Mr. Jason. Jason, how you doing? And of course, we have the only reason anybody watches this show. She is the brains behind the bronze and the mask behind the masculine.
Sure.
How you doing today, Lisa?
I'm doing great. I wore my wolf ears for Enid, so because she
is the best.
She came in clutch.
Because werewolves are better than vampires. Herschel Walker knows that. I don't see why everybody else doesn't know that. And Herschel Walker can barely put two thoughts together. So
yeah.
And he's got one fact.
Only good thought he ever had.
That's like the village idiot that goes around and be like, I like this better than that. You're like, yeah, he's an idiot. So you just basically take the idiot's opinion about werewolf versus vampire.
Why are we insulting village idiots here, man?
They're trying to make money. They're trying to make that bread. Don't be mad at them.
The village idiot didn't have nothing to do with this. Leave him alone. Why are you making that comparison?
Yeah,
it's a nationwide idiot. But yeah, thanks everybody for joining us today. We have a wonderful show for you. If you didn't know, we're going to be reviewing the new Netflix show Wednesday, starring Jenna Ortega. And of course, since we watched Wednesday, we might as well go back and do a retro review of the Addams Family.
Mm-hmm.
The movie, not the TV show.
Yeah, I'm not watching something from the 1960s. I don't care. And then finally, we're going to do a review of Disney's new animated picture, Strange World. That will be interesting. But we'll see. I don't know. Maybe it won't be interesting. Maybe it'll be boring. I don't know.
Lisa's full of opinions about Strange World, so
yeah.
Can't wait.
She is bursting with the rim.
No, I watched it. I got to see it. So I do have opinions. Thank God.
Yes, we have. I mean, you don't have to have opinions. This is the internet. Sometimes you don't have to say what you want to say. You know.
That's too exhausting. I got time for that.
This whole show about our opinions. It's just that we did for ourselves. That's not narcissism at all. It's just that we're having fun. We're having fun.
Yes,
all
it's
right. Fun. Let's get into it. While attending Nevermore Academy, Wednesday Addams attempts to master her emerging psychic ability, thwart a killing spree, and solve the mystery that embroiled her parents 25 years ago. That is the Google summary of Wednesday. All right. Now, if your first time joining us, if you don't know, now you know. We do our one sentence review of each thing that we do. So let's start it off. Kick it off for us, Lisa.
Okay, my one sentence review for Wednesday is Nevermore Academy. If you thought social status was only for the normies, you're in for a rude awakening.
Yes. Jason, go ahead.
My one sentence review for Wednesday is this show is only worth its hump D dancing.
You do the Humpty Hump. All right. And for me,
yeah, you got it.
I got it. Come on. I was black once too, Jason.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Despite what my parents say.
Oh.
Creepy and kooky, mysterious and spooky, but also just plain mean. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. What are your opinions? I mean, we're gonna talk once again about Tim Burton's Tim Burton's habit of making black people, or at least not including them. But when they do, it's not great. But let's just talk about the story for right now, guys. How do you enjoy this show, especially the story wise of this TV show or Netflix show? Do people have TVs anymore?
I mean, we watch it on a TV, so
I'm gonna go with no. No one has TVs anymore.
No one. Everyone's just watching it.
It's all radio now. It's back to radio.
It's all just cell phones, laptops, and tablets. That's all.
Yeah.
Lisa, you want to kick us off?
I mean, okay, so I love the show. I'm a Tim Burton fan. I grew up on Tim Burton. You know, that was like one of the things that, even though I wasn't allowed to watch radar movies and, you know, like weird shit as a kid, like Tim Burton never counted as in that category. So, but yeah, I loved it from beginning to end. We watched it. It took us like 2 days to watch it maybe, but that's just because we're busy humans. But I could have watched it in a whole setting. I think Jenna Ortega was brilliant as Wednesday. And I had a few issues, which I'm going to sound like such an asshole, but
it's okay. No one's watching.
With Gomez. And it's not that I don't love Luis Guzman. I think he's amazing. It's just that Gomez, in my mind, has always been very like debonair, like very like smooth and kind of like he could literally seduce any person he like came up to. And Luis Guzman just didn't do that for me. But so I kind of would have rather him been Uncle Fester. I didn't like Uncle Fester in this.
Brad Armesian.
Yeah. Yeah. He was a little too I guess campy. I don't know. It was such a dark show, and Uncle Fester was just almost too kooky for the tone of the show. It just didn't match the tone, I felt like. But yeah. Oh, and the monster. The monster was very goofy looking. I feel like if it was an anime, the monster would have fit in perfectly. But in real life, I don't understand why that's the monster.
Well, it's a Tim Burton style with the big eyes and the gaunt cheeks and the Tim Burton-ness.
That's okay.
That's what people love about Tim Burton.
But it wasn't just the big eyes. It was just like I don't know. It was a whole lot. It was a lot. But I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So, yeah.
I'm gonna jump in here.
Go right ahead.
Because I know Jason has a differing opinion. By the time I finished this, I did end up enjoying the overall product of the show. But damn, that was a hard journey to go through just to be like, okay. I mean, 100% of this is that the Jenna Ortega just acts her ass off. She just completely nails what they want us to believe is Wednesday. And she is just amazing at it. She reignited my Wednesday fetish that has been laid dormant for the last 25 years. It's back again. Goth girls, call your brother. But yeah, one of my biggest complaints is the fact, and you're hitting on this a little bit, Lisa, is like the rest of the Addams family just seem off.
Yeah.
For me, like, and especially since we're going to go to the review of the Addams Family, the movies from the 90s, it's just like they, in order to prop up Wednesday as this uber badass cool girl or not cool girl or what, I don't know what they're trying to do with her. They make everybody else just seem so dumb and unlike. I mean, even Wednesday's a little bit unlikable in the beginning of this. I mean, she's a lot
I think
better
she's I think she's definitely unlikable the whole time. I don't think you're supposed to like her.
She's a lot bit unlikable, which is like for as someone who's especially to watch the previous movies and has seen some of the previous show, the Addams Family, they are unlikable by normal standards. Like they're a little bit cruel, they're a little bit mean, but like people in their sphere like them because they're kind, loving family, and according to their kindness, right, to their moral code. And in this one, they just seem like Pugsley's a bitch, just straight up. Even though in the usually it's like they play off each other. Pugsley and Wednesday, they're both psychopaths, and they like the scene where you have Pugsley in the first episode where they have Pugsley, in the locker room, he's getting bullied. I feel like from all the stuff we've known about the Addams Family, Pugsley wouldn't really understand that kind of bullying. He would be like, leave me in the locker for another 10 minutes. I was having fun with my friends, right? And like he's sitting here being sad. Like that's not an emotion that normally, the Addams Family has. They're normally happy when bad things happen.
Right.
The characterization is a little bit off because, especially with the whole murder mystery thing, whether or not, Gomez murdered the guy back in the, the Addams Family would have been like, yeah, I killed that dude. That shit was fun.
I hope he burns in hell. And
I hope he burns in hell. Yeah. I hope I meet him in hell when I go there. Like, and like, it just seemed like, especially when they flash back to when Gomez was fighting the dude and like he's getting arrested, like Morticia seems so worried, like, and then she does say like, oh my God, that's the first time he's ever been arrested for me. But it's incongruous to me. Like, she's worried about him for getting arrested, but she's also attracted from getting arrested. But like he's like running from this murder charge, even though like it wasn't really murder. And then the whole fight scene where it's like Gomez would have reveled in that. He would have enjoyed that so much. A guy trying to fight me for the hand of my woman. This is the greatest thing ever. And in the scene, he's like worried. He gets beat up, and it's I just I could not take the slander of the Addams Family and the whole mother-daughter, like I don't want to be like you, and it doesn't work for me because Patricia's like, I never asked you to, I never wanted you to, like, where is this coming from? Like it just flies in the face of what we know or what we've previously witnessed of the Addams Family, and for me that was not enjoyable. But on the other hand, as I said, Jenna Ortega, chef's kiss, masterpiece. The freaking dance alone is worth the admission.
Yes,
yes. It is worth watching all that just for that dance alone. But by the end of it, you're like, yeah, I'd fucks with Wednesday. I mean, even though everybody is kind of already nice to her to begin with, and she's always like Bella Swan, like, oh, get away from me, you mouth breather. I don't like you. Even though, like, hey, want to be friends? No, I don't want to be your friend. I hate you, and I'm the cool one. You're not. I didn't like that aspect, but yeah, she is just so great in this. Gwendolyn Christie is needs to be in more shit.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
They watching this movie or this show, I realized I knew that they did her dirty in Star Wars, but like it's just so dirty that they did her in Star Wars. They just wasted this talent. This and I want to climb her like a tree. That's also a thing. That's probably why I care so much.
I love tall women.
Yes. But a lot of the stuff a lot of the show just seems like angsty teen drama for the sake of angsty teen drama, especially with the two boys, Tyler and Xavier. Wednesday never seemed to like anybody. Like she never pulls off the like, hey, like In fact, she is openly antagonistic to anybody who even remotely shows her act of a bit of kindness. So these two guys, like, I thought you liked me. Like, why would you think that? Like, she's been nothing but like mean, and just because she's been around you, I guess it's just the height of misogyny that you just be around a girl and be like, hey, she must like me because
well, and if she asks for your help for something, then she must clearly want to bang you.
She must like you or something, even though she's been like strictly transactional throughout everything. Like, hey, help me with this and I will pay you money, or like other things, or I'm literally just stalking you because I think you're a giant monster. But either way, they think like they think that they're like her. I do 100% have a problem with the black characters in this. I'm glad that Tim Burton finally got around to having black characters. That's great. Plus, but he can do a little bit better. But we can talk about that in a later segment. Jason, you want to go ahead and give your thoughts on the review on the show?
Why, yes. I hated this show. This show was terrible. Let's go. Let's just run down the list really quickly. But let me start with all jokes aside. Like, it's okay, but the tone's off at the beginning. And even I thought about it, I'm like, how could I have been better associated the tone? And then I actually watched, the retro Addams film, and I go, that opening scene. And I go, that opening scene sets the tone for the whole rest of the movie. The opening scene of this movie should have been them driving to Nevermore, and that whole conversation about, what would you think if somebody knew you attempted murder? And she goes, I'll be disappointed because people will know I failed. That should have been the opening scene, and then with the incident that happened should have been a flashback. So then they would have set the tone of what this show's going to be. The opening scene in this plays it straight. It's no joking. It's no looks like she's out to punish and kill these boys. And so I'm like, this is going to be an interesting take. It's going to be a hard-ass version of the Addams Family. None of the jokey shit, just straight. These guys are kind of maniacs, but, they just, don't go over the line, but it's close enough. And then, they go back to the jokey stuff and the deadpan humor, and I'm like, hold on, so this is supposed to be kind of tongue-in-cheek, but also really, really serious, but also morbid enough? So half the beginning episodes, I couldn't get the tone. And then when that goofball of a monster came up, I'm like, it's supposed to be a joke. And I'm like, oh no, but he's shredding this kid apart like real ass dangerous stuff. And I'm like, so it is supposed to be serious. Like, I'm balancing this whole thing the whole time, and then the dance scene happens, and I go, it doesn't really matter because this is awesome, and I can keep the rest of the stuff. Biggest problem I have with this is that everybody keeps talking about Wednesday, we're friends. How many times does this bitch got to tell you she don't want no friends?
I don't like y'all.
Almost tattooed on her head. I don't want no friends. I want to be by myself. And all these jokers is crying and complaining about why she not kicking it with him and being nice to him. What are you talking about? What are we doing? What high school is this? I know in high school with the joker that didn't want to be friends with nobody. What nobody ain't friends. It was cool. It was like, oh yeah, that's the loner dude. He all right. Just make sure you nice to him so you don't shoot up the school. I know that's probably insensitive for the time and era, but that's what we talked like when we were in high school with weird ass kids that just wanted to be by themselves. That's perfectly fine. But all this, we need to be friends. We need to be friends. And she's just like, nah. You just use me. You just use me. Yeah, that's what I do. I told you this. Like, so that kind of bothered me.
Up front with you from the beginning.
Right. People tell you who they are, believe it. So that kind of bothered me. Jenna Ortega's portrayal did grow on me. At first, I was kind of bothered because it just looks like she just deadpanned everybody. And that was the character at first. But then as the show goes on, she does get more layers. Like the whole conversation at the dance is probably the best characterization of Wednesday. When she's like, I wish I could actually care a little bit about what people think about me. And I thought that was really, really solid. I know, and we're going to jump into the rival and villainization thing. So I'm gonna throw a softball pitch out there once we get to that point. But I did think in the whole show, the issue, like I said, the tone was off for me. But also, I felt like the show did not know what to do with any other character besides Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
It couldn't figure it out. The boys were no charisma, no nothings. How is this a love triangle? Yeah. How was this a love triangle? Like, she showed no interest in you, art dude. And the other dude, she literally, from the moment you met her, was trying to use you to get away. Your relationship was built on her trying to use you. And every time she would just be there chilling, you run up on her trying to talk shit to her, like, oh, hey, we should blah, blah, blah. And she's like, nah, I'm just trying to be here and be morbid, like the morbid person she is. Oh, no, sorry. It was one of the characters that they knew what to do with. Thing. Thing was probably the MVP of this whole
thing.
thing.
Was amazing.
Thing's awesome.
Yes.
Amazing.
And the scene where he gets stabbed up, again, probably one of the better scenes of the whole thing. When Wednesday had to show some emotion. So it was just choppy for me, man. And I think that's what bothered me the most. Is just that I couldn't get into the vibe of it. And it's a lot of good nuggets, but it just wasn't enough for me to be like, oh, I enjoy this. And the only other thing too was, the filling out who the villain is in there. I thought that was really cute, kind of passing the torch. And also I thought it was great. I was a wrestling fan. I got my Bret Hart shirt on. I was like, oh, I did a pop when Homegirl was like, no, I'm just gonna get the gat and shoot y'all. I was like, yes. Why is this not a solution to all the problems? Just shoot them. And I thought that was great, even though it ended the way it did. I still was like, yes, who needs all this magic wand stab stuff? Just get the gat and go to town. Like, literally. Walk into the town and shoot all the weird art kids. And that's it. But neither here nor there. And I would say it wasn't for me, but for me. It's in the genre I like, and there's a lot of cool stuff in there. But as a totality, it didn't do much for me. But, general tech and dance, and again, like you said, it's worth the price of admission. So I'll roll with it. I'm not as upset about Jason about the black characters as he is, but I do think they started a trend of trying to villainize the black girl, because the whole opening scene with the fencing, she was just being hard on her team to make them better for the competition. But it made it almost like, no, she's being a bitch. She's being so mean. And Wednesday's going to put her in her place. So I was kind of glad that she did, get Wednesday and Wednesday to do other thing around. So, I mean, I get what
the only
Jason
time Wednesday fails.
Right. And I get what Jason is saying, because if they didn't give her an arc that made her feel more than one note, her arc would have been just I'm intimidated by Wednesday coming in and everybody liking her for no reason that we could ever possibly figure out from the show. No reason why anybody likes her.
She's hot.
Never mind, man. Right.
She's a conventionally attractive woman. That's why everybody likes her. That's it. If Wednesday coming there looking like Quasimodo, no one would have fucked her with her, whatever.
And I know you all love Enid. Enid was annoying to me until the end. And I was like, oh, okay. All right.
The one thing I didn't get about this TV show, especially the fact that she goes to Nevermore, which is supposed to be this place for outsiders and outcasts, and then just ends up just being regular high school again.
Yeah, because teenagers are all assholes, regardless of their regardless of their species. That's the point. That's
not the point anymore, though.
Teenagers are assholes. I live with two of them.
I live with one of them, and he's not an asshole.
I mean, they don't think.
I just wish that
completely run by their id, and I mean,
I just wish that school that is supposed to be so fundamentally weird just had more weirdness to it. Oh yeah, we're vampires and werewolves, but we won't show you until the last scene that we have any special powers.
Well, they blew all their budget on that fucking monster.
That goof troop monster, bro.
They had to just keep showing him.
We're supposed to be, this is our safe haven from everything else, but we're just gonna just make it like everywhere else and just treat you like, she's weird, even though she's like, I am weird, and you're like, yeah, we know, but we want to be friends. It's just all over the place for me.
The eyes is huge though. The eyes is huge as hell, bro.
I get it. I really understood Enid. I am very much an Enid. I am a please love me and let me do everything I can so you'll like me, and then just overthink.
Why are you not smiling?
Yeah, and just overthink everything, and I can get that. And I have a Wednesday in my life who, once they're your friend, that it's literally your ride or die. So it's crushing when you give so much to someone and then you're like, oh shit, I just wasted all this on someone who's not going to give it back, So I do think that I have a unique perspective because I was a teenage girl and I was a weird teenage girl. And I wasn't Wednesday Addams weird, but I sure as fuck was Enid werewolf girl weird. And, didn't have a whole lot of friends. And so the ones that I did have, or I considered my friends, I held on to like a little too tightly and maybe smothered them a little bit. But
so, Lisa, when you were in high school, you hot for Gorgon? You were like, "Ooh, I want some of that stone head."
Oh my god,
that was also a dumb. I don't know.
Well, why did they do that scene? Because I thought the scene was funny, but I thought that he was dead, and I was like, "Oh, cool! Like he's stone forever." But then you see him in the next scene, so then I was thinking that it was Brienne of Tarth, just like mimicking him again. So like I was just so confused, and then come to find out he just unfreezes later. I don't know. That one was a little.
Enid had said earlier that like it's only temporary that he freezes people or whatever, and she doesn't mind being stoned by him. And I don't. That was funny that he accidentally stoned himself. I thought that was pretty funny that that shit works on him too. But then the resulting conflict I felt was just like manufactured just to get the other black child in there to be there.
I think that they're gonna be. I don't know what they're setting up, but I was kind of rooting for Enid and him because they seemed like they had a lot in common.
Yeah, but then they kind of throw away his storyline after his dad dies, and it's just like, because there could have been a redemption arc there because and maybe he would have been in my mind 2 for 4 in black characterization in this one, but it's like of the 4 black characters in this, 3 of them are 100% bad guys, almost. Well, let's say 75% bad guys, and one of them is only like 50%, portrayed as a bad guy until you get her story and and find out that she is just as insecure as everybody else, even though she is the queen of the school.
Well, shout out to him liking The Way of the Dragon, and if anybody doesn't know what that is, check it out. Bruce Lee movie. It's the one where Bruce Lee fights Chuck Norris. So when he said that, I did pop too. I did pop. I was like, "Oh, that's the shit." Even though he's black, he should have really said his movie was The Last Dragon.
Yeah, he should have said The Last Dragon.
I'm gonna give him.
And then Enid would have been better, and she was like, "Show enough."
Right. But I'm gonna give him some credit. It was written by a white man, so I understand why they couldn't make the black character like The Last Dragon, rather than Anyway, but still, Way of the Dragon, great movie. Go ahead.
Is that the one where he grabs Chuck Norris's chest hair and like?
Yeah. Such a good movie. Anyway, but I mean, like I said again, and again, for people who like it, I understand why you like it because there's so much in here that I wanted to like. I just kept getting pulled out on random stuff. I didn't mind Louis Guzman as much.
Louis Guzman.
I didn't mind his.
Okay, but
he's not gonna be Raul. I mean, he's not gonna be Raul, man. Come on, man. You're not gonna do that.
Do you think that the guy that they had to play the younger version of him matches the?
He let himself go because he married the hottest girl in school.
No, he lost 4 inches in his height. Like what?
He's a little dumb.
He wanted to see a head shrinker. He maybe found a leg shrinker.
I mean, they took the time to match the teeth, which I very much appreciated because Luis Guzman has very defined teeth. That's fine. That motherfucker was 4 inches tall. He's 6'5" as a freaking teenager, and then he's like 5'2" as an adult. Like, what the fuck? Like,
I will say this: the reason why I guess it bothered me as much because in all the incarnations, Gomez is like, he fawns over Morticia, and it's like, oh yeah, that's cool, good, loving relationship or marriage. This one actually is like, oh, I see why he fawns over it because this motherfucker know he hit the jackpot and he got to make sure. For me, it felt more like, this is what a man who outkicked his coverage would act with the woman that he outkicked his coverage with.
He married
Julia's one. It's like,
time out.
Why he get any woman he want? Look at him.
You can't use that kind of analogy on this show, man. Like 95% of our fans don't even know what coverage is. They're talking about insurance. Why are we talking about insurance right now? You don't kick insurance.
Yes, he dated way above his great number. So yes, but so for me, I was like, I can see why he's like he is kind of creepy, but they're supposed to be kind of creepy. So I don't know, but I get why everybody did hate it, because most of us that did hate it, we grew up in the era of Rao, and he's the man, and he's suave. Like you said at the beginning, he's suave, he's sexy, he's sophisticated with a little bit of creep in it, and it works.
Yeah.
The creep is actually kind of a turn on because he's so like the machismo, and to go to this one where it's like, man, please. So I get it, and also they kind of made all the men in this movie are dumb as hell. Like, if you notice that, like, all the men are just idiots in here, from the sheriff to the love interest. What's up?
The B kid.
Even the B kid is even, because Wednesday's using him, and he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna go check out the house by myself. And then, like, you don't even bring no beeper section when you go out. Like, I ain't gonna get started again. Yeah, all of the characters here are stupid, like, just idiots.
The Hummer.
yes, the Hummer. Idiot.
I can't. I don't know what they were thinking with that. Oh my God, about died. We had to put it on subtitle because I cannot focus unless subtitles are on. It is so hard for me.
You gotta get that Ritalin, man. Get one of those.
So yeah, totally.
Crush that up a little bit.
So
of
I watched like the first 3 episodes without subtitles, and finally I was like, can we please put on subtitles? I have no idea what they're saying.
Like I said, I just can't hear. So I have to watch everything with subtitles on and know what the fuck is going on. So
yeah,
I even though I watch all my animes, sub not dub, like, I am so focused on reading the subtitles, I cannot watch anything else. Like, don't know what's going on. I'm just like, because I gotta read them out loud. I'm like, and she says.
So you the motherfucker that be taking like your 4-year-old kid to the movie theater and reading it out loud? I'm like, bruh, can you take your kid home? Like,
that sign says movies. Is
actually,
that
my wife started doing that in Wakanda Forever for my youngest, and I was like, y'all can't read. She need to go out. She need to leave. She can't read. We ain't doing this.
I know that my kid you can't take away my kid's black card, because he's the kind of kid that's straight up in the movies just talking. Like, oh no, he did. Oh, I can't believe that happened. Oh my God. I'm like, you would fit right at home at the Magic Johnson Theater in East Point.
Man, I would try to fight your son. I would try to fight your son.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
I'm like, all right, it's fine. It's just shut up. I'm trying to watch this movie.
Yeah. So, did you guys hear that? It just came out that Jenna Ortega was sick during the dance scene, and then she was dumb enough to announce it on social media or announce it during an interview or something that, but I probably had COVID, and then sure as shit, she did have COVID during that scene.
She told Tim Burton that she was feeling sick, and Tim Burton was like, "Cool, whatever. You still got to do this anyway." And she went out and
get your ass out there.
Yeah, like, we got a deadline.
Yeah,
still like that. We fully made it in Hollywood. Get out there. But go, sorry.
And then after she got done, the test results came back. He was like, "Oh, COVID," and then they shut down shooting for the rest of the day because now everybody has COVID.
She should have taken that story to the grave.
Facts.
I don't know.
She should have never released that, because now she's getting so much.
Well, it's not her fault. She told her boss.
She could have gotten the test right then. And
she did take a test. That's what the thing.
No,
that's the thing.
Waiting on results. Bullshit. I got a test right in my freaking cabinet that will be done in 20 minutes. Don't tell me.
He told the boss, and the boss told her to get her ass out there. It's not Jenna Ortega's fault. It's Tim Burton's fault. I'll go to grave for that. Jen, if you're listening, I got your back. Don't listen to these other.
Me and Jason both got your back.
No, just me.
Listen. She should have taken that story to the grave. And then later on, when her career was set in stone and she had a little bit of wiggle room to be able to make mistakes or whatever, that she could come out and then talk shit about Tim Burton, and then everyone could go down and hating Tim Burton.
I mean,
for forcing a child to do that. But because that's not what's happening.
Yeah, I feel like people talk shit about Tim Burton and they fine still.
Yeah.
All right, ratings. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go ahead. That's all right. So, for those of you joining us, if you don't know, now you know. We have a little rating system here. If we think something is good, we give it a head. If we think something is mid, like some week-old stale gummies, we give it a cannon. And if we think something is just a straight-up garbage, we give it a circus. All right, Lisa, for the overall story of this, what do you give it?
Head.
All right, Jason?
Canon.
Canon. Cool.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna give this a canon. There were some wonky parts in this. All right, let's go with performances. Lisa.
Head.
Jason.
If it's just Jenna, yes, head. But all the rest of them sucked except for Gwendolyn. So I'm gonna give it a canon.
Oh, she was so good.
I'm gonna give it a canon. Also, Christina Ricci is in this, and she can just be like, come in here and not give any of her lines any passion whatsoever, and I'll still be like, "You're the best actress ever." She'll be like,
I love
reading an office.
She's so cute with her long glasses.
Yeah.
And I was like, Ricci should be in every movie.
She's 100% the bad guy. I knew it.
Yeah, that you had to. You're gonna have her on there.
You're not gonna have her in there, and it's really crazy. If you ever watch Yellow Jackets, this is Showtime. I think it's on Showtime.
Yeah.
She's in that too, and she is great. I think she has a new calling in being a crazy person and playing crazy people, because she can just either way. I will let her stab me to death. It's fine.
Okay. Cool.
And let's go in overall as a goth icon. How would we give this? Lisa?
Like the show as a goth icon?
Yeah, like the show overall.
I guess it's head. I don't know. I want to think about that. It's gonna be, let's revisit maybe in a week or so, but right now it's head.
All right, Jason.
Goth icon, I'll give it a head for me.
And I too will also give it a head. I might be dressing in black again like I did in 11th and 12th grade, guys.
Yeah, I'm in my goth dress right now.
I might be back at it. I'm sorry, Mom. It's not a phase. It's just who I am. All right, let's give it our overall score. If 0 being or 1 being trash and 5 being great, Lisa, 1 out of 5. What do you give it?
It's a 4.5 out of 5.
4.5 out of 5. Jason, 2.6 out of 1.
I'm gonna give it a 2.
Give it a 2. And I'm going to split the difference because I like to be, I'm going to give it a 4 because I ended up enjoying this at the end of this. It was a lot of good. I thought it was fun, even though Tim Burton is a racist, and I'll stand by it.
Well, speaking of that racist, let's go ahead and play a game, which everybody knows.
We have a game. Who's more racist? Tim Burton?
Name that racist. Yes, we can name this the racist edition, but we're going to play another game of this or that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. All right, and we're going to do it.
That was a song. That was a song.
Yes, it was. We're going to do it all with Tim Burton movies, and I did this thing where I tried to group similar like Tim Burton movies.
Edward Scissorhands, hands down for this whole entire thing.
Okay. All right. First one. This Batman or that Batman Returns?
Ooh.
Batman Returns.
We're gonna do.
I'm going to go with Batman Returns too. Batman Returns. Yeah.
Okay. I think the only Batman right here. Okay. This or that Beetlejuice versus Edward Scissorhands?
Oh. Why are you doing this to us, Jason?
I know. These are the hardest ones because these are his best movies. So these are going to be the hardest ones.
I'm going to do Edward Scissorhands.
Even though I just said Edward Scissorhands for everything, I'm going to go with Beetlejuice.
I'm going to roll with Beetlejuice too. Please, everybody at home that's watching, you feel free to play and put in your answers. All right. We got this Frankenweenie versus that Corpse Bride.
Frankenweenie. I love Frankenweenie. Corpse Bride, mid.
Oh.
I'm going to go with Corpse Bride.
Okay, full sweep. Corpse Bride it is.
That's not a full sweep. I call Corpse Bride mid, guys.
Wait, that's me ignoring your comment of Frankie.
Yeah.
It's like, also, I heard Jason said Corpse Bride as well. That's what.
You can get with this Sleepy Hollow or that Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney Todd, 100%, hands down.
Just let me think 1 second.
And I don't even like musicals.
While you think, I'm gonna go with Sleepy Hollow because Christina Ricci, and I love Christina Ricci more than anything like herself. So
one of my kids.
I don't know. Sweeney Todd has Alan Rickman and
Helen Bonham Carter, I believe.
Yep, and what's his name? Adrian.
Johnny
Well, Johnny Depp, Adrian. The
Adrian Brody.
Is it Adrian Brody, the pianist?
Yeah, that's Adrian Brody.
Yes.
Yeah, he's like it's a. Yeah, I gotta go.
And Sacha Baron Cohen, he's in that too.
That's who I'm thinking of. That's who I'm thinking
Brody?
of. Not Adrian Brody. Yep, Sacha Baron Cohen.
Very similar men, by the way.
Thank you. I told you I'm bad with names. He was
too.
Borat, right?
Yes, he was Borat.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's what I was saying. Okay,
very nice.
Yeah, I think I gotta go Sweeney Todd. It's got a great cast. And
Sweeney Todd is the way better movie. I'm just going to side with Christina Ricci almost any chance I get.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. No love lost there. The next one we have, get with this, Ed Wood versus Mars Attacks.
Mars Attacks.
So I've never seen either of those movies.
What? All right. Well,
definitely
that was a great one for Lisa. I guess she's fired now.
Listen,
most people never saw Ed Wood, so I don't expect anybody.
Yeah, to see that one. I would have to defer to my husband. I don't know.
I'm actually going to go with Ed Wood, but I do enjoy the classic B movie of Mars Attacks. So good. There's like everybody in it too. This one will be a hard one. You ready? You can get with this Planet of the Apes. You can get with that Dark Shadows, because they're both terrible. So which one was the best out of the terrible two?
I was going to say Dark Shadows, and I was like, no, I'm thinking the movie Dark Man. That's what I'm thinking.
Right? But Liam Neeson, Sam Raimi, yes, that movie's awesome.
Can we abstain?
I'm going to do Planet of the Apes because I've seen that more than once. Dark Shadow I saw exactly one time.
I'm going to go with Planet of the Apes as well, because Tim Roth is a monkey.
Yes, I'm gonna go with Planet of the Apes as well, and
I think
that's a clean sweep.
Yeah, she's also a monkey. She's a sexy monkey in that one.
That's a good. Yeah, I stand by my decision.
It's okay.
Okay, you can get with this Alice in Wonderland, or you can get with that Dumbo.
Neither.
Alice in Wonderland.
I would take Alice too, and they're both terrible, but I would take Alice in Wonderland.
But it was visually stunning.
All right. You could get with this one should be easy, but I thought I'd see what you can get with this Big Fish, or you can get with that Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah, that'd be easy. I was trying to find something that could match with that, and I'm like, I've read all the good ones already. And your final one is you could get with this Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, or you could get with that Mrs. Peregrine's Home for Particular Dumb Stupid
Mrs.
Kids.
Peregrine.
Yeah, it's terrible. That movie was God, and I love Eva Green. And that
can I just do Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
I wish. Yeah. Let's do that. There's no rules in this game.
I'm just gonna ignore what you said and just pick the one with Gene Wilder in it.
Yes. What about? Are you gonna take this serious, Lisa, and give a real answer?
I think I've seen Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children more than I have Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Just for the people out there, like, oh, that movie, spoiler alert, it's a time loop.
Yeah.
That
was agony when I found that out, but yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you guys aren't going to like the first season of The Magicians then.
For real? Is it time
I'm going to tell you now.
I've only watched like 7 episodes.
Oh, so you're 7. I got to 5 and I stopped.
If you continue on with that show, it is so good. It is so good.
Okay.
Like at the end of this, when it finally ends, I'm ugly crying. I got snot hanging down. Like,
sorry.
It's great. It's great. It's a great journey. But yeah, it's a time.
Oh, now I have to watch it. I gotta go finish watching. All right.
Season.
Well, that was my edition of This and That, the Tim Burton edition, ladies and gentlemen. Woo-hoo! Yes.
Hooray. Well, let's stick to the theme here of gothic, asshole people in their movies. When a man claiming to be Fester, the missing brother of Gomez Addams, arrives at Addams' home, the family is thrilled. However, Morticia begins to suspect the man is a fraud since he cannot recall details of Fester's life. With the help of the lawyer Tully Alford, Fester manages to get the Addams clan evicted from their home, and it keeps going because this was from the 90s. They didn't know how to do synopsises, so we know what the movie's about. Now, if you're just joining us, or if you've been here the whole entire time, if you don't know, now you know. We do our one sentence review. Let's kick it off with Jason. One sentence review for The Addams Family, the first one, the movie 1991.
Yes, we still don't know what happened to the real Fester. Maybe he's Back to the Future.
All right, Lisa, hit us.
Okay, Addams Family, one sentence review. They do what they want to do, say what
You-
they want to say.
no!
Oh, my kind of family.
No, you stole mine.
Addams,
You stole
hey,
mine.
Addams
Addams
family.
family.
Hey.
Oh God! Oh, you stole it. You stole mine. That was legitimately what I was going to do.
You were going to end it with "They're my kind of family." How does your sentence end, sir? Is the exact
It ends
same
with
way?
the Addams Family. That's what. You know what? I don't
So it's
even
not
care
the
anymore.
same?
Let's just move on to this great, great movie. You ruined my life, Lisa.
Listen.
Yes, I'll jump right in there. So
Yeah.
I love this movie. I forgot how much I love this movie. I forgot how good Raul Julia is. And I mean, everybody thinks about his role as M. Bison. And this one refreshed me and said, oh my God, the charisma that just pops off the screen in every scene he's in. The biggest thing, though, I realized is that I think I always intertwine this one and the second one almost together.
Yes.
And realize like the kids don't have much to do in this one compared to the second one when they have a lot more to do. But I think that's also because the story is a lot more streamlined in this one and the kids are a lot younger. Christopher Lloyd, we can't say enough, and I know you guys are going to dote about him, so I'm going to let you guys handle that heavy lifting for me.
Fuck Christopher Lloyd. This is the Raul Julia show. All right?
Again, but he's great as like a fester. But I guess for me, I didn't remember as much of the first one. And I guess because, the second one came out later, but it is so much of the macabre in this one that it is just overflowing. And I remember in the Wednesday review, I said how they should have opened Wednesday. The opening for this is just terrifyingly satisfying with like dumping the hot tar oil on the carolers. Like that's just such a beautiful way to start the movie. But then even the scene where like he's opening the books and every book has a different thing, like it's blowing wind. I mean, it's so much in this movie that to enjoy without even caring about the movie. The other portion of this that I thought was just very, very amusing for me is that I know we had a theme of Tim Burton, and I get now why they wanted Tim Burton to do Wednesday, because even watching this initially, I go, did Tim Burton direct this?
Yeah.
And you realize, no, he didn't direct it, and that's even better. Right, yes, it was. And then you start looking at Barry Sonnenfeld's listings, Men in Black, and I'm like, oh my God, like it all feels like this could all be in the same universe, except for he did do Wild Wild West, and we will not ever mention that movie again.
If you looked at the credits of the Addams Family, I believe they're the exact same font as Men in Black.
It is. It is.
They probably only bought one font.
They probably
only bought one font.
It's $16,000 on this font. Got to use it again.
Use it.
Right. So going through this, and that brings up a beef that I had, I guess, with Catherine Zeta-Jones's Morticia versus here with Angela Hudson. And I think it's more of a visual look thing for me. It almost feels like Morticia in the movie is just floating on air. She's just above, like it just, she has a presence about her that is just so almost domineeringly sexy, but also macabre, but just almost ghostly. Like the thing I thought about, and it's sad, it's funny, but the BJ scene in Ghostbusters, like like how it's kind of hot but weird. That's what I felt watching Morticia. This one. I'm like,
what's going on?
Kind of hot. It's so weird.
I don't understand why my pants are getting so tight.
Right. So yeah, no, it was refreshing. I probably haven't watched this movie in forever. So it was kind of good coming back to it and being like, oh, I forgot about that. Oh, I forgot how funny this is. And Mama Addams definitely needs to be in Wednesday season 2.
Oh yeah. Well, she's
they need to cast.
Yeah, she's great. She really shines in the second one, I feel like, more because when the baby comes along and she's talking about something like how they used to like torture the children or something like that, and Debbie says, oh, you could do that, or you can do that, and she's like, not anymore. It was like, oh my God, I love her so much.
When she finds like, I guess, a human bone in her soup, and like Fester and Pugsley are laughing. She's like, this is for dinner.
Right. Yeah, so good. I see
Wednesday,
it my
play
time.
with your
Just
food.
great movie, so much fun.
Yeah.
Lisa, would you like to
Okay.
espouse upon?
So it has not been years for me since I've seen this movie. I actually watched it like last week before you said let's watch this one. So I had just watched it.
You're like done.
Yeah, and I as soon as it came on Netflix, I watch it all the time. I probably watch Addams Family Values more than this one, but yeah, this is just one that it's just so funny, and the fencing scene
Oh, classic.
with it's so 90s, and I love it. And actually that scene whenever she's like and like the blood just sprays everywhere. For some reason, it made me think of that scene in Zootopia whenever all the little bunnies are acting out and like the fake blood comes out and they're like, blood, 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 death. Like it just like gave me that same energy, and I don't know why. But I think Angelica Houston is just kind of one of those eerie, untouchable people that like she exudes, like she always has a secret. And I think that that's why she's so sexy in this movie. Like she does, like you don't kind of ever really know what she's thinking, but you kind of do. And she always kind of is giving little smirks to Gomez, and she's so quiet when she speaks, and she's always just so she's so cool. I would love for her to be my mom. I love my mom. I love you, Mom. I'm just saying, like she's cool, and Thing, I remembered Thing having a bigger part, but I think because he had such a big part in Wednesday that we had just seen, and that was pretty big technology, I think, at that time.
Yeah, Thing was kind of groundbreaking because they didn't know how to do it, because he was supposed to be like just a stop motion animated hand, and they were like, "Oh, I think we could do it this way," and they actually like was one of the first like where they blue screen a person out and comped him out of the shot, and you can kind of see, especially at the top of him, where there's that like line where they're comping him out the shot, but it still is very it holds
good.
up, to this day.
Hold up, yeah. And then, like, just like funny little things. Like, remember in the 90s, it was very comical to like for husband and wives to hate each other. So you have the lawyer husband and the wife just like bickering, and her being like, why did I marry you again? And he's like, I said yes. Like, it's so kind of what was that? Married with Children. Like it's so 90s, and I love it. I love it.
Which is always why Addams Family was kind of refreshing, even though they're these weird people who like don't really understand like the normal ways of society. They're always been like this super loving family. Like, the Gomez and Morticia always let their kids just like, explore what they want to explore. Like, they never chastise them. Only time, they are chastised is when they're not going to their full potential. Like when Wednesday is carrying the knife, she's like, "Is that for your brother?" And she's like, "Oh, that won't do." And she gets him like the bigger hatchet.
The bigger knife.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like stuff like that, which is one of the reasons why I wasn't so keen on the Addams Family in the Wednesday show, is because you don't really get that like closest connection. And maybe it's because Wednesday in the show is a teenager, and this one she's a little girl.
Yeah, I didn't realize how young they were.
Yeah, and which is funny because like I think between this one and the next movie is when Wednesday becomes the older sister. Because
so I googled it, and she's the older sister in the first one. In the
she's
one
older than Pugsley.
That's the first time that they changed it. Yeah.
Is it?
Wow.
I thought it.
She looks younger than
the
Pugsley.
Younger sister in this one, in these.
I googled it when Jason talked about it. We can double check, but she's definitely the younger sister in the show.
In the show, yeah.
Because she's a little baby.
Yeah.
And then because isn't she the older sister in the second one? I don't
She
know.
I have not seen the second one in a while. I thought they were twins too, and somehow she, over the last 25 years, she became the older sister. But yeah, this movie is great. Like, me and my son were sitting here and we're just cackling at this 1991 movie, and it's just like, Raul Julia, rest his soul, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Raul.
Okay, I have the answer. So evidently, earlier adaptations, she was the younger sibling, while later adaptations depict her as the older sibling. So I guess it's whatever adaptation you're going to look into is what it determines who she is, or if older or younger. So
look, when Addams Family Value comes along, that's where my Christina Ricci fandom started. So that's all that really matters to me. That's when I started wearing all black and wanting to be. I can't remember the actor's name that were her boyfriend in that movie, but I was like, I would not have screamed when the hand comes out of the grave and grabbed me. I would have been like, this is fun. Please marry me.
I can't remember what his name was, but I remember his parents called him Mr. Woo Woo.
Yeah.
Because they were horrible people.
Raul Julia, the greatest thing about him as an actor was, like, no matter what he was in, especially in that terrible, terrible Street Fighter movie, he's always playing to the cheap seats. He's always like, it just seems like he's having so much fun doing this. Like, and in this movie, he is like, he's eating. He's just straight, like, going as all out as he possibly can. And, like, you could tell that there's so much joy in his portrayal of this character. And, like, that is like 95% of this movie is just watching him just be so joyful and playing Gomez and having fun and doing this. Christopher Lloyd, he's good too. He's great. Especially. But the cool thing about Angelica Houston is, especially the way that it's like the way they shoot her. She has like that. They always have like a key light over her eyes, so it's always like that 1940s like femme fatale, like in a noir movie sort of lighting to her. So that's what always gives it that air of like mystery and stuff like that. So they like, it's not just her portrayal, which is also very, very good, but it's also just like the way the movie treats her as well. And it's just like, it all just comes together to form this delightful movie. And it's just so much fun. And I haven't seen this movie in like 20 years. And I literally thought this was gonna be one of those movies where I'd come back to it and it's gonna be like, this does not hold up.
No, and a good reason why it's held up so well. The scene when they're selling the lemonade and the Girl Scout comes up and she says, "Is it made of real lemons?" And she was like, "Are your cookies made of real Girl Scouts?"
Such good. And that is Mercedes McNabb. When I watched it, I'm like, oh, that's Mercedes McNabb. And yes, it gave me even more enjoyment. Shout out to my Buffy and Angel fans.
I think she gets an expanded role in the second one, but so good. So much good stuff.
Yeah, she does good. Yeah, and the second one, they're doing the swimming lessons, and they need someone to play the drowning victim, and she's like, "I'll be the victim," and Wednesday's like, "All of your life."
All your life. And like, that's what's so great about like the Addams Family is like, they're not, there's a joke. It's like, it's just so subtle, and it's only because someone else is just being over the top, and they come back in with a zinger. Yes. And it's so good, so very good. We should do the Addams Family Values for the next week's show.
Listen, it's so good. It's so good.
But I mean, guys, do we want to go to our ratings, or we still want to continue to gush over the show like Jaron gushes over the Ghostbusters?
Let's go.
I'm ready for ratings. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. If you haven't joined us before, and if you're joining us right now, if you don't know, now you know, we do a little rating system. If it's good, it's a head. If it's mid, it's a cannon. If it's trash, it's a circus. Jason, what would you rate the overall story of this movie, The Addams Family?
Oh, it's definitely a head. That, like, the whole Fester scheme and then taking over the house, and it's all good. Again, I forgot how good the plot was in this movie. Like, I won it because I couldn't remember what the plot was. I was like, oh, this is very interesting. Yeah, even Gomez going to represent himself, just classic. Like, so good. And
the funny thing is, it's like, that line is like, they say that, whoever represents himself, you show me a fool for a lawyer. And he's like, well, today I'll be that fool.
Be that fool, right?
And he immediately like, nope.
Yeah. Also,
Lisa.
Gomez calling the Sally Jesse Raphael about the cult. And she's like, Mr. Addams, for the last time, we don't know where they are.
I mean, he's lost everything, and now she just ejected him even more.
She can't even let him join a cult. So funny. Yeah, it's a head. It's great, and it doesn't even like. I just feel like it's aged well. The jokes aren't overly misogynistic. They're not overly, problems we run into with a few of the past ones. Like it's just a good movie. It's just a good movie. It's head.
No implied sexual assaults.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you.
Yeah.
I too will give the story of this movie a head. It's just one of the greater things that come out of the 90s. Let's go with performances. We've already raved about them. Let's just go ahead and give them a rating because we are selfish people. Jason, what would you rate this?
Head.
Lisa.
Head.
And Jason Ade Baker would also give it a head. Now, let's see here. In terms of, let's just go with in terms of comedy, just so we can start, end on a great note. How would we rate this? Go ahead, Lisa or Jason. Jason, you go first.
Comedy, I'm gonna give it a head. Like I did chuckle out loud a few times.
Chuckle out loud a few times. Lisa.
Yep, head. I lulled. I lulled.
Well, I ruffled and then shot my pants. I'm laughing so loud. I'll also give it a head as well. So that's a 3 sweep heads. Here we go. Yes, everybody, give it the heads.
Yay!
Raise the roof. They still do that, right? Kids still do that. Raise the roof. Is that a thing?
You get it now because you're a trendsetter.
He's bringing it back, making it hip again.
Is new. Obviously, we don't really need to give this a rating. I think it's just going to be obviously positive for this movie. If you need a rating for this, just go watch the movie and make up your own mind and stop being a follower. How about that? All right.
I agree.
But if you disagree, like, share, subscribe, comment, and be like, that movie was garbage. I can't believe y'all recommended that shit.
Yeah.
That shit was not funny at all. Wednesday Addams was not hot in this. And I was like, because she's 8. So I don't know why you think it's
But also, just so y'all know, Jason loves it when we get negative comments. It's like his favorite thing to talk about.
It's my favorite thing. I love negative comments because there's parts of my anatomy I like to tell people to enjoy.
Actually, since like Lisa's been on, we really haven't got any negative comments.
Exactly. Because Lisa goes in and is like, why are you really feeling like this? Is it really because you don't like it, or is it because something is going on at home? And she figures out and they start crying, and it's very cathartic for everybody. Like it's
I just thought YouTube was a cesspool of idiots, but now I've met you and you've changed my life. I actually do like Black Adam now.
Hey!
Maybe I will go back to school and be a doctor.
Oh, God. Cool.
Yeah. All right. The Clades are a legendary family of explorers whose differences threaten to topple their latest and most crucial mission into uncharted and treacherous territory. See, that's a tagline. That is the tagline for Strange World, Disney's newest animated feature. So, as per always, if you don't know, now you know, we're going to do our one-sentence review. Go ahead and kick us off, Lisa.
One-sentence review for Strange World. Isn't this movie a featured ride in Epcot, or am I just thinking of a Rick and Morty episode?
Yeah, you are. Jason.
If you ever wanted to see what the inside of a lion turtle looks like, there you go.
I'm going to say a beautiful world filled with bland and uninteresting characters. All right, let's jump right in. I'm gonna start off here with this movie.
I was like, you got to jump in after you hit that. Hit us with that. You gotta Yeah, come on. Throw that fastball down the lane.
Stop with the sports references. I don't know what you're talking about. Fastball, is that a bowling reference? I don't get it. Okay, so like I don't hate this movie. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate this movie, but this is definitely not this is not one of their strongest outings, and I understand why they just basically didn't market this thing and let this go out here to die because they could do better. they could definitely do better. I feel like the whole parent, having expectations of the child and that whole thing was done way better in Turning Red, and it's kind of feels like it's old hat here. There really wasn't a lot of emotional weight to that same storyline because there's really nothing different they did with it. It's like, oh, not only did you do it with your dad, you're doing it with your son. Like you just add another person to it. That doesn't really, fly for me. The animation style in this, I really, really enjoyed because it definitely looks like old school Disney animation, even though it's like brought into a 3D world. Like the character designs were definitely like very, very Mickey Mouse-esque to me, which I thought was really cool. And especially the stuff that was when they go into the strange new world, I thought was very visually entertaining. But it was just like, if it wasn't for Gabrielle Union's character, it was like, none of this shit, I wouldn't care about any of it. And even then, she's like only on the screen for like 5 minutes. So it's just like, if you're going to, for Disney movies, especially Disney animated feature-length films, like you expect a sort of gravitas from them, right? Like you expect, especially in this age of your Frozens and when they're knocking it out of the park, especially if you have like Pixar doing good stuff. And this one is like, it's like The Good Dinosaur over again, where they gave us something that looks good, but it's just like 10 years from now, no one's going to remember this movie ever existed. And there's some cool things in it, like Jabuki White's character, Ethan Clade, is like openly gay. They have a biracial couple, or as with Searcher and his wife Meridian. They have there'll be cool stuff that I would like about this, but it's just like it's just so heartless. It feels like to me that this was like someone's student project that would have been fine for like an animated short, and someone's like, "Yo, we need a movie like next weekend. Can you like just fill it out and give it and drop it in my office? And I'll publish it. It'll be fine. Like this is good. Just give me what you got." And that's what it feels like to me. Like it's like the characters are like, for me, are completely like underdeveloped, and there's like no real like heart to it. And that's really, really sad because like that's what you kind of go to see Disney movies for, is that heart and that like that warm feeling that they give you. And it's just like and I like the blatant environmental message. I don't think it really much works with their analogy because they had a clean energy source and that was working for them. And it somehow it's just like, oh, this thing that is renewable and clean is also killing our homeland. And it's like, maybe I should have thought of something different. But like the overall like structure of the thing was cool. It's just like, I've seen this movie before, a better movie, and it's with pandas.
Dealing with puberty, but not puberty.
Yeah. Pandas dealing with puberty and being on their period.
Jason, you have me really conflicted because you make a lot of great points. I'm just gonna be perfectly honest with you. I was like, I tapped out of the movie once the grandpa wasn't upset that dude was gay. So I was like, nah, I could just start watching my phone. No, I'm joking. So no.
I was seriously like, what is happening? Oh my god, my blood pressure.
Did we just turn into I can't remember the fucking dude's name. Let's see, look, Alex Jones. We just turned to Alex Jones right here.
Yeah, no.
Ben Shapiro. Look, that's what I was thinking of. Ben Shapiro. Hi, Ben.
I'm with you, man. To a degree, I thought, this movie's hard, man. It's hard to judge because it has things in there that we want to see. It has, like you talked about, the openly gay character. It has even him, fostering a new love. It has, interracial couple, and it just has a lot of stuff in there. Like, hey, we want to see it representation wise. Wish it was in a better movie that we cared more about. But my biggest issue with this whole movie is I'm so tired of the tried and true tropes to make these kind of movies. Oh, the kid sneaks on the ship. Oh, the kid's a freaking idiot and doesn't understand the bigger ramifications of his actions. Oh, like it's just, and that's what took me out of the movie. I'm gonna be real with you. When it opened, I was in. I was having a good time, and then it was like, oh, dumb kid does dumb thing. Dumb kid causes the damage that's happening, and then it's like, no, we should do this. You're a kid and never have been out here. Shut up.
Shut up and go on the ship.
Yeah, but then kid goes and runs away. And it's like, how am I supposed to root for this character when he keeps making dumb decision after dumb decision? And they play it off like it's heroic. And for me, it was just annoying. And then Disney slides in with like the BS with like the sticky blue man thing, and I'm like, what? Why? What? And they even called him Splat. They couldn't even give him an original name. They called him Splat. Like, oh, I'm gonna call you Splat. And it was like,
I mean,
you couldn't think of nothing else.
The freaking other brown character said, "I want to market you," and it's like, haha, that's a joke. But it's like that's why that character is there. It's for marketing purposes, and just because you say it doesn't make it any less egregious.
And then you do something which is probably near and dear to Lisa's heart. You put in what seems like a disabled dog that maybe is possibly a rescue, but then you make the dog almost the worst thing on the screen.
That dog,
the dog was annoying as hell. And the fact that they even tried to make a part of the story about this annoying dog trying to rescue them made me more infuriated because I have 2 cats. And if something were to happen to me and my family, I would not be yelling for my cats to help me because I have enough information to know that they're dumb enough that they won't give a damn. And they will just eat my corpse and my kid's corpse once we died in that situation. I know that. I would not be like, hey, maybe we can get my cat Oreo to get the toy to unlock the door. What? So that was dumb. The biggest thing I wish, I'm real with you, know what the movie should have been? It should have been the buff ass chick that was voiced by Lucy Liu. Her adventure.
Terrible.
That should have been what it is. That should have been her adventure, and maybe I would have enjoyed it more because she was a beast and she was out there getting it in. And I was like, "Yeah, girl!" And then they tried to make her like a Dutz at the end, like they almost gave her a villainous turn to be like, "No, we got to do this to say this." And it's like, hold on, like you've been reasonable this whole time. You've been proficient and reasonable, and actually the most capable person outside the moms in this whole thing. And then at the very last moment, you become almost irrationally dumb. Why? Because we got to further the plot. That's why.
In her defense, that's 100% what would happen in real life. Like, oh, our land is dying, but we're going to lose our power. Yeah, fuck that. We're going home. I think we figured it out.
Hold on, but no, why is it irrational? It's because they tell her this is killing it. It will kill our, like they explain to her that, it will kill all of us. All of us are going to die if this thing dies. Yeah. And they're like, no, we don't believe you saw a real monster. You are. What led them to think that those two, Searcher and his son, would make up that? Yeah. Like they had no other.
She's trying to get reelected. She's just trying to get reelected. She don't want to deal with long-term problems. She just wants short-term problems. Short-term solution.
I'd rather they just would have made her a badass from the beginning, a no-nonsense badass, and the story been about her, and then she finds, Searcher's father, and then they have a conflict, and it goes that. I'd rather that would have been the movie, and I'd have been perfectly fine with that, because it'd have been like, oh, okay, whatever. But instead, it felt like everything was shoehorned in because they had to check the box of this is what a story does. Stupid kid, check. Stupid, hilariously fun animal, check. Sidekick that makes no sense, check. Oh, we had to have a message. Check. Like, yeah, it just it makes me so mad because you know what makes me mad most is that this movie flops, so all the wokest broke people get to be like, see, this is what happened when you put the gays in this, and this is what happened when you try to force diversity down our throat. And it's like, no, this is what happens when you write a bad story. Period.
Yeah, I agree. So I got to James, my husband, and I got to go to see this movie right before the podcast. And he fell asleep in the movie a couple times. I don't understand why this is the film that they chose to put in theaters. I don't understand. Why is this the one in theaters? Why wasn't this straight to Disney Plus? I don't know what they were thinking for that, first of all. Second of all, that's what you get for putting stupid Jake Gyllenhaal in your movie. So
honestly,
so
spoken like a true Swiftie.
Yeah.
This is right. Jake Gyllenhaal deserves no more happiness in the world. I hope he dies.
I'm not saying that. He's very Jake Gyllenhaal is very one-dimensional, in my opinion, and it has nothing to do with Taylor Swift. When I think of Jake Gyllenhaal, I think of that one movie that he was in with Jennifer Aniston. I can't.
The Source. The Signal.
They were forever ago. They were having an affair. It was this thing.
Who the fuck is Jennifer Aniston?
What?
I'm joking.
Oh my god! No, you're just trying to get me have a stroke tonight.
She was in that ripoff show of Living Single. Remember?
Yeah.
Associates.
Yeah,
the good. I think it's called Good Girl.
Patriots.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, The Good Girl. The Good Girl. So I always think of him in that role, and he plays kind of a dodo loner. And so, no matter what I see him in, I'm always thinking of that role because to me, he doesn't ever really elevate himself. To be fair, I am not a Jake Gyllenhaal fan.
Have you not seen the masterpiece that is Ambulance?
Definitely not. Definitely not.
He definitely elevates.
So I just don't think I don't know. There's so many fantastic character voice actors out there,
I had a rant about this.
and we've seen because especially with Onward, we saw what a great job Tom Holland did. And he's it's so whimsical and so sweet, and and I even think Chris Pratt, which I'm not a huge Chris Pratt fan, but I think he did a great job in Onward also. I don't know. I could go on about the voice acting forever.
Hold on, Lisa, are you not a fan of buff Chris Pratt or not a fan of all Chris Pratt? Because I like fat Chris Pratt.
Fat Chris Pratt was a lie. All right.
Yeah.
Fat Chris Pratt is how he lured our ways into our heart, but he's been buff Chris Pratt the whole entire time.
Yeah, that's what Will Ferrell. That's what Will Ferrell did too. They comedians will purposely gain weight to be funnier. So it's bullshit. It makes they're liars. Yeah.
I like him even more
so
less
Chris
now.
Pratt, I'm just like Chris Pratt after Star-Lord because I think that he got famous. He was always kind of famous, but it was always kind of like, who's Chris Pratt? People don't really know. And then he kind of blew up after Guardians, and then divorced his wife and
Anna Faris.
Anna Faris, and then remarried one of the Schwarzeneggers, and then started talking shit about his kid who has some kind of disease, and I'm just not about that life. So
I didn't realize he was this bad of a guy. I just knew.
Listen, I could just go down the rabbit hole.
The worst quiz according to the internet.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I just know he was just in that church that people don't fuck with.
Oh yeah.
Is he in that church?
Justin Bieber also goes to that church too.
No, surely not.
They go to the same church, and it's
who the hell likes Justin Bieber?
Look, did not see his YouTube video where he sang that song? And he was in high school.
One less dead ninja.
Oh, baby. He did not.
No, we're talking about the other one, Lisa. The one where he's like one dead ninja, one less dead ninja in the world or something.
He said that.
Have you heard that song? Oh, you ever heard that song?
No.
Yeah. He was 12 or 13 and was singing a racist ass song, dropping a hard ER on it too.
They singing a David Allan Coe song.
Oh my god!
You got to look that up, man. It's insane.
Okay, I don't want that in my Google history. You can send that to me, and I'll open it up in a incognito browser. Go into my algorithm.
You'll get a Proud Boy to come by your house, hey, I heard you listen to a Justin Bieber song. You want to join us?
Yeah.
We tracked your cookies, and now we're here. We need a new
leader.
To wear khaki pants
and a polo short. It's great.
Okay,
I can't interrupt Lisa's review.
No,
sorry, we got to give her time. Sorry,
I did forget that Jake Gyllenhaal was in Southpaw, and I did really enjoy. I enjoyed Southpaw, and I don't think that movie was great because of him. I just think that was a very well written movie, and anyone could have played that part. But that's probably my Swiftie bias coming out in there. Okay, if I'm being
Never back our sweater.
It's a scarf, but
oh, I don't know. I don't
care. No, but the movie was beautiful. We made comments, you know, like when she was making the food. It always goes to the food because I feel like a good sign of great animation is how real the food looks. And that when she was slicing that cucumber, it looked like a real fucking cucumber. And that was insane. And it was beautiful. And I love me some Gabrielle Union. And I wanted to love this movie. And it was boring. And it was the story didn't really kind of make sense. Like, and I felt like they were, they just made, I don't know why they made this movie. I don't know why because it had to cost a fuck ton of money. It had to.
And also not
so
only
why waste your time? Especially if you're not going to market it. You could have marketed the shit out of it and you probably would have got more people in there at least opening weekend until the word got out that it sucked. I don't know.
It's not only that they waste money doing this, but they also wasted time. These movies don't, it's not like, oh, we got a script on Saturday and we started shooting on Monday and now we're done by the end of the month in the live action thing or 3 or 6 months down the road. This thing takes years to make.
Yeah.
5-6 years to make.
Yeah.
And they did this whole entire process and was like, this is going to be good. And like, no one's like, you know what? Let's just stop. I also want to go back to your voice acting thing because even though Jason enjoyed the character of Callisto, I felt like Lucy Liu was like the absolute worst.
100%. Her voice acting was terrible. Yeah. And
I just like,
because she has a whimsical voice.
The only people in this that I felt like did a good job was Gabrielle Union and Dennis Quaid, and that's it. And I love Jabuki Young White as a comedian. I'm glad that he's in a movie, but like, I just wish in these animated features they actually got real.
What has he been in besides this? Because I don't even know who this dude is.
No, he's a comedian. This is like the first thing he's ever been. And he's hilarious. He does these great jokes about how which animals he thinks are gay, and it's hilarious.
He chose poorly.
Yeah, he chose poor. I mean, this is like, you want $1 million
for it?
Yeah. You want $1 million for 3 days worth of work? Let's go. But like, it goes. There's so many. You know what the thing that really really irked me? Alan Tudyk is in this movie. I don't know what that's supposed to.
Yeah.
And he's barely in it. And that guy is not only a good actor, he is a great voice actor, and he's barely in this. Like, and it's just like it. It's sickening to me, especially this new trend. It's not really a new trend, but it's been going on for like a long, long time now. That they make these animated movies with just regular actors, and it's like there are some actors who are great actors and can be a voice actor, but like, why not get the people who are like it's their day job is to do this? Like
why the guy who did Max on the Goofy movie. He's a fantastic voice actor, and
it's like back in the early 90s. The earlier, like the Silver Age Disney movies, in Aladdin, you had Steve from Full House be Aladdin. He wasn't fucking Tom Cruise. I mean, even though they modeled him after Tom Cruise, brown guy modeled after Tom Cruise, but they had Steve from Full House be Aladdin. And like, go back to those days where you had people who were good at the job versus the name. Like, this movie wouldn't have been better. But like, it might have been more entertaining to watch.
But if they wouldn't have had to spend so much money on the actors, maybe they could have spent that money on working on the script, developing. Like, at some point they had to realize the script is not working. We need to change things, but they probably didn't have any fucking money because they're paying all these people.
Yeah, they got fucking Jake Gyllenhaal who needs to hire a lawyer because every 5 minutes he's getting sued by a Swiftie for that damn scarf. I threw it away. I threw it away.
I thought Maggie had the scarf. I thought that's what had happened.
Maggie has the scarf. I don't
Maggie has it.
Scarf.
Just a side note, Jason, do you find Maggie Gyllenhaal attractive?
My brain is malfunctioning. I think the answer is
She's from Batman.
I know who Maggie Gyllenhaal is. Lisa.
Okay, I'm just trying to get.
You're asking.
Sir.
I'm sorry.
I'm usually the one that doesn't know who people are from. Like,
wow, I'm just trying to be helpful. It's fine.
The other Jason knows that stuff. My thing is the one that doesn't.
There's
know
that
things.
Will Ferrell movie where his life is being narrated, right? And she's in it.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember the name of it, but she is a cookie maker. And she says the word cookie like 1,000 times. But she doesn't say cookie. She says cookie. And I just want to punch her in the face. I just want I'm like, no, you're a person. You can't just act out violently. But it's like, yeah, from that, I'm just like, give me the other girl that was,
Katie Holmes.
Joey. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, because what's her name? Jaren says she looks like a melted candle, which I think is a joke from Family Guy. So yeah, JL says he does not find her attractive. So okay, well that was it. Sorry, I went off on a tandem. Continue. Maggie has the scarf.
Yes, Maggie has a scarf.
Who keeps a scarf from another person? Like, ew.
That's why there's a song about it.
That's why there's white people.
I rest my case.
Like,
is the song Cardigan?
That's not a scarf. That's
I know. I know. As I said it out loud, it was too late. I couldn't bring it back, so I had to just lean right into it. That tells you how bad this movie is, guys. That we're talking about everything but this movie. So I guess we could just finish this up and say it sucks.
I also had a better one-sentence review for this. It's like that turtle needs to check his doctor, get like a shampoo for all them human lice on his body before he gets.
So it was very much like I said.
The doctor God? Like, who's the doctor that's gonna do that?
It's like, you got an infestation. You need to get some ointment or something to get them things off you.
but we've seen this before, right? So literally Disney World has a freaking ride where you go through, you're like a red blood cell or something, and you're going through the whole body to learn the human anatomy. And on Rick and Morty, you had the episode. Yeah. Well, I can't remember what it was called, but where they go into the body of a homeless man.
Yeah.
And
have strange adventures. And did we know hepatitis C like that? Yeah,
it's just like I don't know.
Yeah, like that actually was on TV the other day. Yeah. I mean, and we've had Osmosis Jones, we've had Inside Out.
I think there's an anime I think the anime is called like Blood Cells Attack or something like that. Like it's all
it's
not because, mind blowing. As soon as he said it's like a heartbeat, I'm like, oh, cool. It's a heartbeat. Like, got it.
When they went to the forest where it was like breathing, I was like, oh, this is someone's body.
Yes.
I was like, I get it. The real red things are red blood cells.
Yeah.
Obviously, like. It was like, I get it now.
So this is a legitimate question that me and James talked about afterwards. So when they entered into the body, they went down the hole and they came and they had to bust through to get in there. We were like, so is that its butthole? Like, is that how they entered? It was through the booty? Like,
that's the best way.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, why is this?
Because it was down the long. It was like dark, completely dark, and then then there was like a little baby piece of like skin, and it was like flip. And they were in there. And he was like, so did we just take a journey through the butthole? And I was like,
yeah.
I don't know. That's a good, valid question.
Also, that creature should have no ability to see them whatsoever. They're like, that eye could not.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I don't know you're there. Yeah. You guys are like staring in wonder at this giant eyeball who's just like, I see nothing but endless blue in front of me.
And
I assumed it didn't see it because it didn't blink or anything. It didn't react. I don't think I assumed it didn't see him.
Yeah.
We watched it in 3D, and so when it was shot, look, I only had one time. I had one shot, one opportunity to see the movie. Okay,
this is not to you. I'm saying it's like if I saw this in 3D, I would have puked.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was actually quite stunning in 3D. They did a good job. It wasn't over the top like Avatar, where I wanted to, vomit. It was just like very subtle. I wanted to talk about that.
We're not having any Avatar slinging Avatar quips and discouraging Avatar on this show.
A white man is literally wearing the skin of an indigenous person.
So anyway, so it was very.
We don't get mad at Quantum Leap.
Yeah, because he's trying to help. All right, he gets it.
And Jake realizes,
and then he
like,
leaves.
oh, I'm trying to help.
Then he leaves. He doesn't join. He doesn't join the civil rights movement and just becomes Martin Luther King for the rest of his life. He leaves. And he goes, "I become a better person."
Ripley was trying to help. Ripley was trying to help, and she was doing that stuff.
Funny story about freaking Sigourney Weaver's character in that she played as James Cameron. That's what she was thinking. I'm gonna play this like James Cameron.
That explains the outfit too. That is, yeah, okay.
Either way, still the movie sucks.
What was I gonna say? So whenever, so that first shot, whenever they were up in the eye, and you're looking, and they're just like in the little floaty thingy, the little jet thing, and it just shows the eye in 3D. It was double vision. Like, because it was so like it could not, you could not look at it. Like, you could not look at the boat because it was so. I'm thinking it was a glitch in the editing, maybe, I don't know. But there was 2 boats.
Oh, that sucks.
So, yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, that's it.
3D is a lot. Well, let's just go ahead and just give this movie a 0 out of 5 or 1 out of 5 because I don't really feel like
I don't want to rate
entertaining this thing anymore.
Wait till it comes on streaming, guys, and you could be for yourself.
Or don't watch it. There are better movies out there.
But I do agree with what you guys said. It gives the woke or broke people. And I, cannon fodder, and I hate that shit because it shouldn't be like that.
It's just a bad movie. It's not a bad movie because they have a gay character in it.
Yeah, it's just because it's a bad script.
It's just a bad movie. All right, out of 1 to 5, Lisa, what do you rate this movie?
I'm gonna give it a 1 because it was beautiful. So,
all right, Jason.
I'll give it 1.5 because it had Sis up in there representing. So,
yeah. I'm gonna give it 2 on the strength of Gabrielle Union and alone, and she having to put up with Dwayne Wade.
Okay,
and that's it. That's it. So the average is a 1.5 because that's how math works.
Yay, math!
All right. Well, that's all we have to talk about today. So I guess we reached to the point where the Elvis fans love, which is the end. Hooray! All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. Please, as I said, please like, share, subscribe, comment. The little algorithm, it's a monster. It's like a really hairy monster. And if you feed it all those comments, it like poops out and it gives us the money. And we want the money. I need the money. I'm broke.
I love poop. I love poop money. Poop money's my favorite.
Can we talk about the algorithm real quick? Just real quick, 2 seconds.
Yeah, of course. We always talk about the algorithm.
So I liked a video where it was like Andrew Tate versus Jake. Is it Jake Paul?
Jake Paul, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it's like talking about it, like how the UFC fights come in, blah, blah. And it's just like it's like basically like, I hope Jake Paul murders him, right? So I like the video.
I hope he gets
How about now my algorithm is giving me nothing but Andrew Tate shit.
Oh my God, that sucks.
Yes.
See, we won't do that to you because you'll get other cool stuff that we like movies and shit. So,
I was like, well, that's how it happens. That's how they get them. I need to get a whole new account. My whole algorithm is screwed up now.
I really, really hope Jake Paul treats him like Drago treated Apollo, and we never have to worry about that man again. That'd be great. But also,
isn't Andrew Tate already dead?
No.
Shoot.
Oh, okay.
I wish.
Wishful thinking on my dad. Y'all don't know who nobody is. So
I'm sure there's a person named Andrew Tate who has died. So you're right. Also, everybody, do not forget to pick up our next book club book, which is the 5th season by N.K. Jessamine. I picked that book. It's a little bit longer. So get it now because it's kind of going to take us a little bit of while, especially me because I read slowly. I don't read like 5,000 words a minute like Lisa does. I got to read each word out loud, and I got to ask my mom, is that the right word? And she goes, yes, baby.
No, you had a black mama. Your mama was like, you better go get that dictionary and look it up.
Yeah, go to the dictionary, look it up. So remember to pick it up, everybody. Lisa, you have any parting words for us?
Yes. Again, holidays are hard. The weather's been rough. So check on your strong friends, check on your weak friends, just make sure that if you haven't heard from someone in a while, just shoot them a text, say, hey, it'd be rough out there when the sun goes down at 5:00. It's not fun.
I only heard just shoot him. I'm like, whoa, I thought we were supposed to check on him.
Well, shoot him a text. Yeah.
How you doing?
Oh, also, with the holidays too, don't forget to shop local. Your local vendors are probably going to have the same thing that Amazon has, and it's not going to be used. So it might cost it might cost like an extra $1 or $2, but just hit up your local vendors and support them, because they're what helps keep the cost down, if you can believe it.
Capitalism. Jason, any final words?
Yeah. I mean, I second everything Lisa says. Seasonal depression is a real thing. Guys, take care of yourself. Be healthy. Do things that make you happy. You know what makes me happy? Doing this show. You know what makes me happy? Watching TVs and movies to do this show. So find things that make you happy, guys. Hopefully we're one of those things. And if you are struggling with something, also it's easy to say seek help, but you're more than welcome to put something in the comments or reach out to us. I think any one of us, minus probably Jason, because he's a tyrant. We will love to talk to you and make sure that you feel better.
I am all about healthy mental health. All right, I will get you your resources and help out too,
except for the people in your country that you're a tyrant over. So
those
besides them,
I'm sorry if I want serfs. Does that make me a bad person?
But also, just thank you guys for listening and watching. We really do appreciate it. Hopefully, we got some new things coming in for the new year for you as well, because I'll have a little bit more time. So again, just thank you all again.
Yeah.
All right. And as always, everybody be kind, be considerate, and tip your bartenders and servers at least 20%, if not more, especially like during the holidays. Do more, please, because that's how they make their money. And if you see Jared on the street, just go ahead and look him in the eye and spit in his face. Just
but you wanted them to say hi with their fist again.
Say with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Say with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Give back the scarf, Jake. Give it back.
Give it back, Jake.